Yep. Good morning, everyone. So, last session we learned about how we can work with hyperlinks. We discussed about intra-document and inter-document links. So, in links concept, we have seen inter-document and intra-document links, how to handle them. Extra, yesterday we learned about iframe, how we can use iframe and work with iframes. So we designed a page embedded with a lot of videos and different type of content. Now, after understanding links, now today we will see another major concept in HTML, that is forms in HTML. This is another very important concept in HTML. In future, if you are learning any other web technologies like Java, .NET, PHP, Python, or Angular, React like concepts, this is the primary area. That means every application primarily uses these forms. So you have to have perfect, complete knowledge on forms. So this you are going to use everywhere in future in JavaScript, in jQuery, Angular, React, or any web technology you are learning, Java, .NET. Everywhere this forms concept is important. Actually, there they will not teach you forms. Suppose you are going to learn Angular, React, or Java, .NET. They will have an idea that you already know forms. They will just show you how to work with the forms. So every web developer must have a complete good knowledge on forms. Let's see what is a form and how these forms are used. Generally, you can see the concept of form is nothing but form provides an UI, user interface, so that user can interact with our application. That is the concept of a form. So usually form provides a UI, it provides an user interface. From that user interface, user can interact with our application. Interacting means what? So generally, user interactions are classified into CRUD operations. They are classified into CRUD operations. User interactions are classified into CRUD operations. Actually, CRUD operations means C means create. So R means read, and U means update, and D means delete. This is a very common thing in software development. Anybody who is attending interviews on different technologies like Java, .NET and all, in majority of practical tests, they ask this. They say that, okay, you learned Java, or then show me CRUD operations. You learned .NET, you learned full stack web development, show me CRUD operation. CRUD operation means design an interface, that allows to display data, that allows to insert data, that allows to update the data, and allows to delete the data. For example, you are using a shopping site. In a shopping site, you are searching for products, different types of products. What is that operation here? In a shopping site, you are searching for products. It comes under which operation? Read operation. You found a product and you add this product to cart. That is create operation. Create operation means you are adding something. You are creating some new. So in that, after adding cart, I want to change the quantity. I want to change my delivery address. Then it is called update. I want to remove it from that cart, delete. You can't expect any business, any application without this. Any application in the world you build that contains all this. So user interactions is reading, inserting, updating, deleting. And to do this, you need a good interface. That interface is called as what? We call that interface as form. So form provides an UI from where user can interact with our application. Mostly interaction means this all. Actually, technically, form is a container. Technically, form is a container we call form. So technically, form is a container with a collection of various elements. Collection of various elements like you have buttons, text box, check box, radio, list box, drop down, labels, etc. All this comes in a form. Form is a container which contains collection of various elements like button, checkbox, radio and all. For example, I will show you a simple interface you see here. Let's open some Word. You can see here in this, I am opening some font like this. I have a option. Okay. Let's take a screenshot of this. I will select a screenshot of this so that you can see it clearly. Yeah. Now this is yeah. And let's copy. And I will open in MS Paint. I will paste here. Okay. Now this is just a simple interface to yeah. Now see here in this, actually you see here there is font one category and character spacing another category. Two categories are there. Can you name these controls? Can you name what these are called as? Can you name what they are called as? A font category is there. A character spacing category is there. Two categories are there. Can you tell in which place these two categories are kept? What is that control called as? We call them as tabs. We call them as tabs. In your browser also you have tabs, right? That means font is one tab, character spacing is another tab. Two tabs are present. You can switch between those tabs. You can move between the tabs. So in one tab, one set of options, in another tab, another set of options. We call them as tabs. Now, what is this called as? What is this called as? That is called as text box. We call it as a text box. So what is this called as? This is called as a list box. What is this called as? That is called as a drop down, or it can be also called as combo box. So what are these called as? These are called as checkboxes. Checkbox. So what are these called as? You know them. They are called as what? Buttons. They are called as buttons. Now, these are all the elements in the screen. What you can do with a checkbox? What you can do with a checkbox? You can select and deselect any option. What you can do with a text box? We can view, we can edit, we can input a value. We can see what is the value. If you want, you can change the value. You can type some new value. What is the purpose of drop down? You can open and select any one option from the list. You can choose any one option from the list. So these all are elements for interaction. All these elements, you can see all these elements are kept in a, these all elements are kept in a rectangle box. Am I right? They are all kept in a rectangle box. That rectangle box, this rectangle box, where all these elements are kept, this is the rectangle box. This rectangle box is called as, generally we call that rectangle box as, so that is known as, so this is the rectangle box. That rectangle box is called as, we generally call this as form. That rectangle box is called form. That means all these elements are kept in a rectangular box. That rectangular box, we call it as form. That means everything is in a form. So form is a container. It's an empty container. In this container, you can keep all the elements. It's just like a stage for all the elements that you see. So technically, what is a form? I will give this diagram later. Yep. So technically, these are all the elements and it is present in a rectangular area. This rectangular area, we refer this rectangular area as what? Form. So form is a container. In this container, all these elements are kept. So we have to first learn how to design a form. Then we can learn how to design elements in the form. That means before you design elements, there must be a form container, right? So what is the purpose of this container? Allow interactions with your website. What kind of interactions? CRUD operations. CRUD operation means create, read, update, and delete. Let's see how to design. How do we design? What are the options? How it works? See, first important, you have to know about the form container. Actually, without a form container also, you can keep elements. You can have buttons, you can have text box, anything. But why we need a form container? The main purpose is it encapsulates a set of controls, so that you can submit their data to server. Now, if you don't have a form container, their data is not submitted to server. Their data is not submitted to server. I will show you the point here. For example, first thing, let's create a simple screen here. Yeah, form demo.html. So here I am defining a simple page. Here I am creating your name and a text box. Don't worry what is this input type and all. Just observe. I am having some username. Don't worry about what I am designing. Just see it. There is a submit. Actually, in this page, there is an option, username, your name, and submit. Now I am typing some name and click on submit. It is unable to submit. A page cannot submit the data until or unless it is present in a form. So it may present without form, but it cannot submit. If you put this entire in a form now, we are writing a form. Form is a container. In a container, we are keeping. Container means not div span. Form is a special container. And you know here, this form container is just like a div and span. It is empty. Nothing is there. In this container, you keep now. Now let's try the same thing. I am entering some name and I click on submit. It can submit the data. It can submit. So if anybody asks, without a form, can I design the elements, buttons, text box? You can. If you are not submitting the data to server, without submitting data to server, you are handling some interactions, then you can design without a form. But majority out of 100, 90% of forms are designed to submit their data to server. 10% we don't submit. We do only interactions client side. We don't design form to submit. We design form for simple interactions. That I will show you in JavaScript and all. You will see that every time a form is not submitted to server. If a form have to submit to server, compulsory all the elements must be in which container? Form container. So what is the concept of form? It encapsulates. Encapsulates means combines all into one unit as a set of controls so that you can submit their data to server, right? If elements are not in form, if elements are not in form container, then they cannot be submitted. They cannot be submitted to server. So technically, form is a container with a set of elements. And how to design this container? We have to just create a simple form, and we need to define the form. Close. Now, form have a lot of attributes, important attributes, which you have to know. So first you know about the form, then we can know how to design the form inside. So form have lot of important attributes. Form have important attributes. What are the attributes for form? Every form will have an ID. Every form will have an ID actually, it is used as unique reference name for form in page. Why you need a unique reference name? Because in a page there can be many forms. In a page you can write many forms. Then how to identify specific form? So every form needs a ID. Just like there are so many divs, how to apply effect to any specific div? We can use IDs, we used classes, right? A unique identification is required. That is required not now, later in JavaScript we need that. So ID is later used by JavaScript, CSS to handle this form. As of now, we don't use ID, but ID is required for form. Another important, form can have a name. It is also used as reference name. Then what is difference between ID and name? The difference between ID and name is ID must be unique, but name can be common. Suppose two forms belong to same category, then both forms can have a same name. Both forms are different but belong to same category. Then how you will bind them? By using a common name. That means name can be, so actually it can be common for multiple forms. It can be common for multiple forms. That is important. It can be common for multiple forms. ID cannot be common. ID must be unique. There are two forms, both are related to each other. We need to handle them together and separately also. Then to handle them together, we need name. To handle them separately, we need IDs. So ID and name. These are the references given for any element, not only for form. In future, every element can have an ID and element can have a name. You cannot use them now. Later you will use it while working with JavaScript and all. Next important, every form have a class. Class, we know that it is used to define multiple classes to configure styles. You know already. Suppose I want to apply some styles. Then you can define classes. Without class also you can apply style, but I showed you how to apply style using a class. Class uses a dot selector, dot class name. So if you want to apply some styles, effects, then you can do that by using what? Class. So every element in HTML usually have three basic attributes: the ID, the name, and class. Right. Next, very, very important for form is method. This is important. The major concept about form is method. The major one is method. You can expect almost in every interview questions asked about form methods. Any interview, including Java.NET people also, they have to face this question related to form methods. Actually, what is method? Let's see one point here. Means what is the concept of method? To understand the concept of method, for example, suppose we have an object here. So this is an object like this. So let's say this object is, so this is a ball. It is an object. So we have an object like a ball. Now this object is having some 3 mm diameter. It is having red border. It is having yellow fill color. So these define how it looks like, how the object looks like: height, width, color. Technically, these are called properties. So we technically call these as, technically these are known as properties. We call them as properties. These are properties. How it looks like: height, width, color, shape, all these are properties. Now, what a ball can do, what it can do, what an object can do. A ball can bounce. A ball can roll. A ball can explode. A ball can do all these things. These are the actions performed by an object. These actions, what it can do, these actions are considered as methods. We call them as methods. Now, when it will do them, when it can do, when a ball will bounce, when you throw the ball, it will bounce. When you pin the ball, it will explode. When you roll the ball, it will roll. That means when it can perform these activities, these are called, generally we call these as, these are called events. Events. In website development or in any graphical interface designing, these three are compulsory. Any technology in the world, any graphical design you are doing, it comprises of all these three things. What are those three things? They contain properties, they contain methods, and they contain events. What are properties? Properties are physical description about an object, how an object looks like. Methods will define what they can perform. Actions, when those actions are performed, that is defined by events. For example, now we will take a technical point here. Suppose we have a button. So this is a button. and this button is having some text on it, as it is having some text as print. Now this button is actually, this button have like width, so as 100 pixel, height as 20 pixel, and text as print. Now what are these? These are considered as what? Properties. What a button can perform? Button can open, button can close, button can print, button can save. These are the activities. Will you have a separate button for save? Will you have a separate button for close? No, button is same. But at different places we use in different ways. That all the works. A button can print, a button can save, a button can open, a button can close. But what we do, when you put right side corner with cross mark, we will make that button to work as close. We put an save icon on that button, then we will make the button to work as save. Can save button close? Yes, save button can close. If developer writes wrong logic, it can close. Close button can save, but developers have to carefully write. That means that is generally happens. You see testing. In software testing, our developers do such mistakes regularly. They design one button, its icon is save, but they written a wrong functionality for that. Why? Because only one button will be there for any work. So for that situation, which work it has to do, they have to mention that. If they defined a wrong functionality at wrong place, it is working in a wrong way. Then our testing team will report it as a bug. They will say that this button here, it has to work as save, but it is working as close. Please correct this. So every button have all these methods, but situation wise, we design which method is required. So these are the actions performed by button. Then this is called as methods. When these actions will perform, tell me. When a button will do open, do close, we call these as what? Events. That is click. Only click. Button can double click. Button can right click. Button can mouse over. Mouse over means move the mouse onto it. So it's not like button means only click. Click has several clicks, single click, double click, right click. Right? For every functionality we can do. Can't you right click on button? We can right click on button. Some options will come in some situations. In some situations, you see websites, anybody tries to right click, they will put a warning. You can't right click. Like banking sites and all. You can't right click, you can't copy. That means they restrict it. So technically, every object contains, every element contains three basic things: properties, methods, and events. In any graphical interface, when you are designing an element, it have to have three things: properties, methods, and events. And the properties for form are ID, name, class. This all comes under properties. Methods means what actions a form can do. What are the actions a form can perform in HTML? So that means method, it defines the actions performed by form element. And very important is form element can perform, form element can perform only two methods, can perform only two actions. It can perform only two actions. Only two methods are present. One is get, another one is post. A form can do only these two things. That means whenever you design a form, you have to mention for which action it should be. Means, is it for get? Is it for post? When to design a form with get? When to give get for form? When to give post for form? So this is important. So the question is, what is the purpose of get and post? So the answer for this is get is used to fetch data from server. In server, some data is present. I want to get the data and show it. Then we have to design a form. For example, you see, you have a form. In that form, they ask enter your PNR number. You entered a PNR number and clicked the button. Then what happens? It will get the PNR details and display on screen. The form is fetching the data from server and displaying to you. That should be on which request? Get. If you design a form for watching the data, fetching the data, then you have to create it with which method? Suppose you are designing a registration form. In that registration form, whatever details you entered, they are submitted to server. Are you fetching from server? We are sending to server. Then that is defined on post. Post is used to submit data to server. So when you design a form, there can be only two things about form. Either you use for fetch or use for submit. If you are designing a form for fetching the data, then you have to design with which request? Get. If you are designing a form for submitting data, then you have to do it on post. Form cannot have any another method, either get or post. And very important is if method is not defined, if method is not defined for a form, if method is not defined for a form, then the default method is get. If you don't write any method for a form, by default form method is get. So if you write, then you can write either get or post. If you don't write, by default form is treated as get. That means whenever we are designing a form, it can be designed for two kind of activities: for fetching data from server, for submitting data to server. Fetching data from server is designed on which request? Get. Submitting data to server is designed on which request? Post. Now here interesting point is there. In many interviews, they ask this question like, can we submit data to server on get request? Get request is for fetching, post request is for submitting. And to confuse you, in interviews they will ask, can we submit data on get request? Can we submit data on get request? Yes, we can. But it is not recommended. It is not recommended. You can submit. You can submit data to server on get. Get is professionally designed for fetching. But on that get request, you can submit data also. But for submitting, which one is recommended? Post. On get request also, if I can submit, then why we need post? On get request also, they can submit. Then why we need post? Why get request submit is not recommended? If it is not recommended, why it is available? Why they are allowing? They are allowing to submit on get, but they are saying that we don't recommend this. If it is not good, they should have removed that facility. If submitting data on get is not good, they should have removed it. They should have disabled it. They are allowing it and they are saying that we don't recommend it. What does this means? They are allowing means there are some advantages of that. They are not recommending this. That means there may be some drawbacks of that. Right? That means why they simply allow if it is not good? They are allowing even if it is not good. That means there might be some advantages. There might be some use of it. So that is very important. So if anyone asks question like, can we submit data to server on get request? The answer is, but it is not recommended. Why it is not recommended? So the question is, why it is not recommended? Why it is not recommended to submit data to server on get request? On get request. This is the question. Why it is not recommended to submit data on get request? Now there are so many points. Why it is not requested to submit data on get request? First point. So if you submit data on get request, then data is appended into URL as query string. It is appended into URL as query string. And very important, every user can view your data. That means it is not safe. That means it is easy to hack your data. And very important is you cannot submit complex data. Complex data means like binary type data. And very important here is there is limit for submitting data. So that is nothing but you can submit max 2048 characters. And very important, so data is stored in browser logs. Browser logs means it is stored in browser history. And the data can be bookmarked. These are all the drawbacks of submitting data on server. On which request? Get. I will show you these points now. We will see that. Submitting data to server on get request is not recommended because of these all drawbacks. For example, I will show you. See, here we are designing a form. In this form, I will give as password. Later you will learn about text box and all. Don't worry. Just see the concept about form only as of now. Don't worry about what I am writing inside the form, right? So this is password. Okay, see, actually, now we have this page, and here we will say your password. Okay, this is your password. Form have method. Form can have ID. ID, I will give some FRM home. Form have a name. Suppose I given as register, something like this. And form can have a class, some form like login. Later we can apply those classes and all these things. Form have a method. The method is get. Now when I give the form method as get, let's see now. I am entering some password. You can't see the password because I am using password text box like, which will mask the password characters. You can't see them. That's good. But I will submit this now. When I submit this, on which request we are submitting? Get request. And see, the data is appended in URL. So everyone can see your password, right? And anything added to URL with question mark is called as query string. We call it as query string. Later you will learn a lot about that query strings. Anything in the address after page name, anything is added after this question mark, that is called as query string. When you submit data on get request, the data will be added into URL as query string, so everybody can see. It is easy to hack. You may think like, okay, I will close, then nobody can see. Even you close, this is present in browser history. Anybody can open your browser history and he can see this password. Even you clear the history, somebody may bookmark it. Bookmark means he can add it to favorites. If he added to favorites, password is also added. That is not safe. It is easy for hacking. That means lot of technical problems are there. And not only that, you are submitting data in URL. Na? When you are submitting in URL, can you submit a photo here? It can't fit. Here I can send only plain text, numbers, characters. Complex data we can submit like pictures, graphics, videos. I can't submit them. You know that you can upload a photo. You can upload photo, you can upload videos, you can save them. You can submit to server. Such complex data is not allowed. And see here, this is the text box. How many characters you can have here? Maximum 2048 characters. That is the length of URL. Maximum 2048 characters. That is the length of URL. URL length can be not be more than that. Right? Now, these are all the limits of submitting data on GET request. So, I hope you understood the meaning of all these points now. So, when you submit data on GET request, data is appended into URL as what? Query string. And it can be viewed by everybody. It is not safe, easy to hack, and it cannot submit complex data. And there is a limit for data. So, why it is not safe? Because it is stored in browser logs and it can be even bookmarked. Then why this facility is enabled? Why they have given this facility then? Simply they should tell that invalid. You can't submit on GET. That's good. That means why they are giving a facility to submit on GET request if it is not good? All drawbacks only? No, one advantage is there. One advantage is actually, what is the advantage is, so you can cache the data submitted on GET. This is good. You can cache the data submitted on GET. Caching the data submitted on GET. Caching means, now I will tell you one example. Suppose you are filling a form, and when you fill the form, some login form or registration form, something, in that form 20 fields are there. You entered all 20 fields and submitted. These 20 fields are submitted to server. Something is wrong. It is not according to their requirement. That means you submitted all the 20 fields. In that, 1-2 fields are wrong. Then it cannot take your registration form. Then it will come back again. It comes back again and it says that please correct these mistakes. Now imagine if it comes back again empty. You might have seen that regularly. Every registration will not come like that. That means, for example, you see bank forms. Suppose you are adding some bank statement, bank beneficiaries you are adding. You have to enter account number, details and everything. If you done any mistake, next time it will show again clean, empty, all empty. Again you have to fill. It will not save the data. It will not save the data because saving those data is security problem. Then it will ask that type again. Right? You have to type again all of them. That is not great. That means when it is great, when it is good is, caching means what? Previously what you submitted, it is still in the memory. It comes back again, then those details are filled up into the form. You don't need to fill all of them. You need to just fill only what are wrong. That is the advantage of what? Caching. That means if data is cached, what is advantage? You can use it again. If data is not cached, then it is difficult. Right? That means caching data. What is the advantage of caching data? So it saves round trips. This is technical word. It saves round trips. What is the advantage of caching the data? Round trips. What is round trip? In web technologies, remember, this round trip is a very important word. In software technologies, everywhere with the server, you will hear this word called round trip. Not only here, databases everywhere. Wherever you have to work with server, you will hear about a concept called round trip. Round trip is a mechanism where every time you have to communicate with server. Every time you have to communicate with server. Every interaction should be with server. If every time you are interacting with server, it is burden to server. It will be slow. That is the reason sometimes what we do is we don't communicate to server. We will load and save in the memory. In the memory of our computer. What is advantage of that? If you save in the memory of your computer, next time you don't need to communicate with server. It will get from here. You see, your browser saves your passwords. You know, your browser saves your passwords. It asks permission now. It is going to save your passwords. When it saves the passwords, next time you open that website, you don't need to type user ID password. It is filled up. Right? If it is cleaned every time, then every time you have to type that. Right? This is the advantage of submitting data on get. What is advantage of submitting data on get? You can cache, right? Almost all fresher interviews about get and post compulsory, they ask questions. So what is get? What is post? When to use get? When to use post? Because in daily life, in your software development, you have to work with forms only. Every day, what is your work will be in real-time projects. Majority of work will be with forms, interacting with the forms, designing forms, creating all interaction through forms. That's the reason good knowledge about forms is important. Complete information about the forms. That is advantage of get request. Now, if anybody asks you a question on get, when I submit where the data is present, what do you is your answer? On get request, when I submit the form, where data is present, you should say query string. You should say query string. That is the technical word. On get request, when data is submitted, it will be in query string. It will be in query string. That is the advantage of that. Now, what is the feature of post? Another option is, what are the features? Features of post. Features of post. What are the features of post? What are the features of post? That means, what is the advantage of post now? What is difference between get and post? First, important, if you submit data to server on post request, then it is stored in form body. It is stored in form body. This technical word is important, right? On get request, remember query string. On post request, remember form body. On post request, when you submit the data will be in form body. And very important, it is not visible to users. It is not visible to users. So that means it is safe. It is safe. So it is hard to hack. Why it is hard to hack? Because it is not stored in browser logs. It is not stored in browser history. It cannot be bookmarked also. It cannot be bookmarked. And very important is, there is no limit for data. There is no limit for submitting data. You can submit any amount of data. You can submit even complex data, complex binary data also. These are all the advantages of post. But one drawback is there. The drawback is you cannot cache the data. That is the drawback. You cannot cache the data. Once you submit through post, it's gone. Next time you want, you have to fill up again. That is the problem with post, right? That means once you send, it's gone. That is the reason what happens is developers use different techniques. In those different techniques, what they do, if data is not privacy related data, then they will save. If it is privacy related data, they will clean up. Right? Such things will happen. That's the reason one of the biggest drawback is online security is not there. Any level of security you can break. Right? Any sensible person who knows technology, he will not depend on digital media. He will not depend on digital media. You know, Steve Jobs, who is the master of iPhone, Apple, Steve Jobs, he is the architect of Mac and iPhone. right? Do you know he never used iPhone? He never used iPhone. Do you know Bill Gates don't have a mobile? And do you know majority of people, you may not know, the Facebook CEO don't use Facebook. His team uses it for publishing certain contents. He never uses it. Why? Because they know they are nonsense. They are time waste. They are just making business with you. You are there not to use. Right? They never use. Any professional high level people, they know digital media is not great. And they never entertain that. They never use. Highly professional people, whoever related to software technology, they don't use the software that they develop. They don't use because they know the problems. They know the issues. Right? Because you see, recently, few months back, Tim Cook came here. CEO, Apple CEO, came here in Hyderabad. He came to Hyderabad. Right? So a few months back he came, 7-8 months happened. He came to Hyderabad. And do you know, when he came to Hyderabad, he wanted to visit Jagdish Market in Hyderabad. Do you know Jagdish Market in Hyderabad? It is underworld for software in entire India. In entire India. Any software released last night, early morning, its duplicate is available in that Jagdish Market. Early morning. Released in 1 hour, it is available. Right? Any phone you bring with any kind of problem, they will recover it and give it to you. You take a CD broken into 5 pieces, they will recover data from it and give it to you. That is the technology they are having. And do you know what is the qualification of the person who is doing it? He even doesn't pass his 10th grade. And he hacks the Apple website and unlocks iPhone. You know? That's why he wants to see all these people. Who are these genius people sitting there? Who are hacking my website and unlocking. Right? They are hacking their website and unlocking. That means, imagine iPhone, like people are great in security, and you go to Jagdish Market, there in one box, only one box, like telephone box will be there. One person with one laptop will be sitting and he will be cracking all websites. Which software you want? Tell. Sit 5 minutes. I will give it to you, including license and everything. 500 rupees. Right? Outside you have to purchase 10,000 rupees. Give 500, take CD. Right? You make 100 copies of that CD. Right? This is the technology. That means no proper security. Just as frankly point, right? You have a mobile. You have fingerprints. Right? You have a lot of security. You forget them. Then you will throw your mobile. No. Take to a mobile shop. They will delete everything and give it to you. Then what is secured? What is secured? There is nothing secured. So that is the reason in limits only we use apps. Right? Many highly professional people, they don't entertain all this. They don't want them. Why? Because they know the drawbacks of them. They know the loopholes. They know the issues. Any level of security can be broken. That means you put any security, you can break it. There is an option for that. That's the reason it's not permanent, because you know our Indian government monitors everything what you are doing on digital media. You know that, right? That means you are chatting with some person. Do you know Indian government reads every message that you send to anybody? Every message on every platform, what you are doing, what you are watching, everybody, they know it. That means some suspicious message you are sending, then automatically they will catch you from where you are sending. You see regularly in TV channels and all, some scam happened, then they will recover. They bring all the chatting they have done with that people. Right? This all not secured. You may be sitting in your blanket, closing yourself, sending message to somebody thinking that it is private. That is foolishness. That is foolishness. Why? Because do you know that message is viewed on large screen by so many? On large screen, that message is seen. Those photos are seen. Those videos are seen by our Indian government departments are there. They do all the monitoring. They have to read all your nonsense every day. Do you know that we have separate softwares for them? They have to read every message, and any suspicious message is there, they sort it out. And they immediately give to that intelligence department. They will immediately catch from where, who is sending this message. Now, Indian government is sharing its cyber security with Israel. You know, Israel is the world's top intelligence agency. Indian government is sharing its cyber security with Israel. That means world top intelligence agency, Israel is. And we are having cyber security with them. That is the reason so many points are there. So anything it can be hacked. Only the point is take precaution. And you have to take precautions. Why we have to take precautions? Because any small loophole can lead to hack. Any high level application also. You know, 1 month back, 1 or 2 months back, our home minister Twitter account hacked. Our home minister Twitter account hacked. Now what you will do after all? Right? Our home minister, central home minister, Amit Shah's Twitter account hacked. Right? He can't do anything. What you will do after all? Right? These are all security things. These are very important. So when you design web applications, these all developers should know. I am not just telling some story to you. I am telling what precautions as a developer you have to take in future. When you are working for a project, you have to think about all consequence. If I don't, you write this, what will happen? If I write this, what will happen? Right? If I don't give post, I give get, then lot of issues. Right? These all matters. Every attribute matters. Securities. These are called securities. Security is not about just ID, passwords and all. Security contains lot of tokens, security tokens. Those you will understand in next levels when we start JavaScript. How to create such security tokens, work with them. They all require this forms concept. Right? So what is difference between get and post you observe now? On get, data is submitted in query string. On post, data is submitted in form body. On get, data is appended into the URL, and on post, data is not visible. Right? On get request, the data can be bookmarked and it can be saved in browser logs. On post, it is not possible. And on get request, you can submit only normal plain content, but on post, you can submit complex binary. On get request, there is limit for submitting. On post, there is no limit for submitting. What is the limit for submitting? Maximum 2048 characters you can submit. That is the get and post options, right? Another, what is the primary point is get can cache, post cannot cache. You see now, I will change this method. Suppose I am removing this here. So I am using the form method to, instead of get, we are using post. And now see here, I am typing something. I am typing and click on submit. It is submitted, but it is not in the URL. It is showing error. Error because when you post, there might be somebody on server to collect it. There is nothing as of now. It is saying that post is not working. Obviously, it will not work. Why? Because in the backend server side, there must be some page which can accept this and it can use it. That is not there as of now. So you will get this screen. In future, what we will do? In future, we have to add one more option there. What is that option is? In future, we have to write an option called action. Action indicates, it specifies where to submit the data. Where to submit the data. It is usually any server side technology. It is usually any server side technology. Any server side technology, like it can be JSP, it can be PHP, like ASP, like this. Any server side technologies. So, but those we don't know now, later you will understand. As of now, just know about it. That means we write like this: form, method. Method is what? Form method is post. Where to post? That we define by using action. Usually server side, our developers will design server side pages like page.jsp or page.asp or page.php, like that pages will be there. That means whatever you submitted, that will be catched by that server page and it will use it. That is why it is showing error now. It is showing error that there is nobody server side to catch this submitted data. Right? Later we can do that. Later we can do that by using various techniques. Right? Initially, you just know about it. So later we can add here action. What is the action? The action, we can define some page.jsp, PHP, like this. These are server side pages. These are created by server side people. They will mention where to submit. We submit to that location. There they will collect the data and they will send into some database or somewhere. So this is action. We call it as action. How we can define the action. Right. This is, so form attributes, ID, name, class, method, and another one, action. Another important, we have an option called no validate. No validate is a new one into HTML forms actually. What is the purpose is, it is used to bypass the default HTML validations. It is used to bypass the default HTML validations. What does that mean? I will show you. Validations are very important. For example, you see here. Suppose I am writing something, just design a form and form method is get. So here we are defining username. Let me put a temporary input type as text and name as username. And we have a submit button. Okay. You see now here. Now what happens is, without entering name, if I try to submit, it will submit. But I don't want anybody to submit empty. I want validation. Validation means verify whether they entered a value or not. If value entered, then only submit. If not entered, don't submit. Then you can see, as of now, I click, it submits empty. It should not submit like that. Then actually, we have an option called required. If I give required, then it is going to validate. Validate. You see now, HTML will use validation. I click submit. It says, please fill. That's good. That means HTML is having validations inbuilt. Actually, This we have to do by using JavaScript earlier. Earlier, we have to write JavaScript for that. But now it is internally available with HTML only. Now, if I write no validate in form, I am writing no validate. I am writing no validate, then it will not verify. I click submit, it will bypass. Is validation good? Is validation good? Verifying details before submitting, is it good? It is good. It is compulsory. You need validation. Then why they given an option for disabling it? If validation is good, 100% it is compulsory, required. It is required. Without validation, you can't have a form. Then why they given an option for disabling it? Question understood? Validation is very important for forms. And they are asking that disable, don't validate. Why? Why? Because validation is good. It's very good. We need it. But some validations are not as per our requirement. Some validations are not per our requirement. Suppose you have a mobile validation. Mobile validation. It will validate US mobile number. Why should I need that? Why should I need US mobile number validation? I need Indian mobile validation. +91 10 digits number. But it have only US. What is use? No use. For example, I am giving here, see, for example, I am giving here email. I am giving email. And observe carefully here. When I'm using email, I will just keep this name as email. See here. And I am typing some name and click on submit. It says, please enter @ It's very good. It is verifying that you are not entering a email. Email means it should have an @ and it is not submitting. That's very, very good. Now I will enter @ Gmail. Is it a valid email? It is not a valid email, but it submits. Then why do I need such validation? That means it is validating, but it is not according to my requirement. That means then I don't want this. Then what we recommend, okay, if you don't want, you write manually by using your JavaScript. Okay, you will write with JavaScript. Now, JavaScript validation will work, HTML validation will work. Why two? If you are writing your validations manually, then why to use HTML validation? Disable them. That is how we can disable. How to disable the validations? By using what? No validate. If I say no validate, it will not verify. Then you can write your own validations. If you keep this and write your own validation, both will work. HTML validation, your validation, time waste. It is burden for application. When you are writing validation, disable HTML validation. How we can disable HTML validation? No validate. Why to disable HTML validation? Because they are not according to our requirements. If they are according to our requirements, then we can use them. Right? That is the purpose of no validate. So it is used to bypass the default HTML validation. This is a simple point here. So we have a form. So we have a method. So we have some no validate. Like this, we need to configure. Then close the form. Example I will give here. I will post this example just to make you understand about the concept. This is example. So these are important things you need to understand for a form. So remember, We haven't learned anything inside form. Text box, passwords, that we will see in the next levels, right? Currently, we learned only outside. What is that outside? Is the concept of outside container. That container name, class, no validate, method, and action. Action. These are the activities of a form. These are all the important properties of the form you should know. Now, here some, because you know the form, some important questions will be asked in interviews. Can we have multiple forms in a page? In a page, can we have more than one form? Yes, we can have. That means we can have more than one form. One login, one register. You can have multiple forms. You see websites, sign in, search. Search also a form. Right? A search form will be there, sign in form will be there, a registration form. In one page, they can have multiple. That's not an issue at all. Now, another point is, can we have nested forms? Nested forms. Nested forms is nothing but we have a form. This is the parent form. In this parent form, another form. This is nested. That means inside the form, another form. You can have multiple forms. It's okay. Can we have nested form? A form inside another form. Is it possible to have a form inside another form? No. It's not possible. But this is required in so many occasions. In so many occasions, we need a form inside form, which is not at all possible. Then how developers do this, right? So it is not possible. So we use alternative technique called AJAX. By using that AJAX technique, what we do is we don't use a form inside form like this. We write a form. After that, we write a div or something. And what we can do is we can make this div work like form. That's good. Directly form inside form cannot be written. But we can make this possible through a concept called AJAX, which is very much used everywhere. Right? Because why you need a form inside form, you might have seen that. Suppose you open Google or Facebook account details, edit account. When you open account details, there will be categories. Categories like personal information, account information, like that categories will be there. All categories you don't need to modify. Only one category you are modifying. After modifying, you are selecting save. Then what will happen? Entire form will not save. Only that portion will save. Understood? For example, you opened your mobile settings. When you opened your mobile settings, there are a lot of categories now. Right? Notification settings. Right? You have like sound settings. You have like Wi-Fi settings. Now you made modification in Wi-Fi settings or something. Entire form should be submitted or only that part should be submitted? Entire form submitting is time waste again. Only that part should be submitted. So that part should be separate now then. If that particular part have to submit, then that part must be separate. So how it is possible? So by using this kind of approach, can we put a form inside another form? No. Then we can make it possible through another technique. Right? This is very important when you are learning about the forms. Right? This you will learn in JavaScript, jQuery like concept, how to create AJAX. Right? This is all about the concept of form. Now inside the form, we have to learn elements like text box, buttons, checkbox, how to design them. Now we can create some real-time forms. Like you have seen Amazon login form, registration forms, everything we can design now. That we'll see tomorrow. Right? In tomorrow's session, we will learn about the elements inside the form. How to work with the elements inside the form. So text box, buttons, checkbox, everything. So that we can create some real-time forms. Right? Tomorrow we will continue. Right? Yes, Aman. What is your doubt?
Hi. So,
Yes.
yeah, I want the previous recordings actually. I couldn't attend the last week lectures.
Videos are not provided for this batch. I hope you are made it clear in the beginning itself. You have to follow notes only. No videos are provided for this batch. If you have any doubts, contact admin.
Yeah, I mean, I have contacted, but admin denied that.
100%. This videos are not provided for any missed sessions. Okay.
Okay. And are
Yeah.
we getting this? I mean, these notes?
You have to follow the notes in Google Classroom.
For this, I need to contact admin or
admin for getting the classroom ID. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Shakil.
Hi, sir.
Yes, Shakil.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, my doubt is whenever I want to give a image path, sir, there I have to give dot slash public. You are giving in videos are like image dot jpg.
It is dot slash is okay. Yes, directly also okay. Dot slash or directly anything is okay. Both will work.
Yeah, sir. But in my laptop, sir, image.jpg is not working, sir.
If it is not working, check where path is there.
Yes, path is.
It may be in a different location. It will share your screen. Can you share your screen?
Yes, sir.
Share your screen. Where is your HTML file?
1 second, sir. Sir, here, sir.
Where are your images? Type the path there at images. Go to image location and type the path.
Yeah, here, sir.
Now, below. Below you have images. You kept images below now.
Yes, sir.
Go to IMG tag. Here itself, scroll down.
Sir, here.
Remove that path.
Yes, sir.
Type dot slash.
Removed, sir.
Dot slash.
That dot slash.
There is no images here.
Yes.
There is no images folder. You might have kept somewhere else. Remove that. Remove that dot slash.
Okay,
Type
sir.
dot slash. It is completely some other folder. Where
So
is
that
your
image is,
images
kept
folder?
in-
Where is your images folder?
Sir, in public images,
Collapse that.
A3.
Click on that images folder. Folder, man. Click on that folder. Folder. Oh. Keep.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking you to collapse that folder. Left side you have files now. In the
Yes, sir.
files.
Yes, sir.
Collapse all the folders. You know, collapse means click
Like
there.
this, sir. Yeah.
Click others also. SRC is not there. In public, where
Yes,
is
sir.
your
In
folder?
public.
Your folder is not in public. Your file is not in public.
Yes, sir. My file is
Your
outside
HTML
of.
file is not in public.
Yes,
It
sir.
is
My
outside.
HTML file
It is
yes, sir,
outside.
outside.
Now come to SRC. Come to SRC here. IMG SRC in the code.
Yes, sir.
IMG SRC in the code. In the code, photo IMG SRC code is there na? In your HTML code, man. In your HTML
Yes, sir.
code. In the HTML code, type the path now. HTML code right side.
Yes, sir.
You do one thing. You install TeamViewer and come back tomorrow. Okay. You know
Okay, sir.
TeamViewer software. Huh?
Yes, sir. I know.
Install it because I
So
will
need
take
this.
control of your system. I will show. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Right. Install
Thank you, sir.
and come. Right. Yes, Ranganath.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one doubt. I will share my screen.
What is doubt?
Yeah, yesterday you said YouTube link it's not working for me.
Not working. Use another link.
Yeah, I will.
Told you,
yeah,
na?
yeah,
Links will
already
not
used-
work.
Yes, I already tried to 2-3 links. Same issue.
Try 5, 7, 10 also. Because all 2, 3 may be private. Huh?
Okay, okay, then fine. I will.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Rohit.
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, I'm a working guy and I work from 9 to 6. So till this Saturday, sir, can you please provide the videos because
Videos are not provided for this batch. I hope they made it very clear in the beginning itself. Huh?
okay, and sir,
So
if
you
I
have to
want
follow notes of the classroom and
Okay.
you have to continue.
Okay, and sir, you give the question and answers, but in many the classroom where you update all
Uh,
over there. So how can I mean? Shall I write it? Because see, sir, I work from 9 to 6.
I see. I am not sure whether you are watching correctly or not. Everything what we discuss in class, we are
Yeah.
uploading into classroom.
So each
Each
question
and
and
every
answer.
point we are uploading into classroom.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.